This is my first time back to Vegas in about 6 years. As you can see, I've got a pretty decent view outside of my window of the downtown strip. Pretty excited. So, gonna go down to the strip, check it out, see what's going on down there.
Sorry, it could have been the switch was half on, half off. One of the things that has come up a number of times at the workshop is social networking. And last year we had a presenter talk about social networking, just as kind of a way of previewing it for you. And this year we've decided to extend it a bit, and we got Richard Kaiser in here, who's come in, and thank you to Regina Menza for finding him and coaching him and getting him all ready to talk about what's happening in that field. You're about to go on a real wild ride with Richard. I saw the presentation. It's really wild, all right? But remember that when we were first looking at conferencing, regardless of whether it was voice conferencing or web or video, people were saying, oh, you got to be kidding. That's really a wild ride. Well, we talked about Facebook with 500 million users. We talked about all these other customers out there. You need to go along on this wild ride with Richard. When he's done, we're going to cover some main points, and then I'm enticing you by remembering that there are going to be free drinks and food outside the door. So Richard, come on up. You're going to connect from your computer there. Is that what you're going to do? Or oh, good, good. I know what that's like.
Okay. Okay. Like Elliot said, I'm Richard Kaiser. I'm with Penny Ullman Nyman. We're an advertising agency out of Dayton, Ohio. Kind of wanted to walk through this today. When they told me that I was going to be speaking to a group of executives, I really wanted to keep this kind of high level. I didn't want to go into, okay, this is how you set up a Facebook page, this is how you set up a YouTube page. So kind of looking at it from a 30,000-foot view. And I know you guys have been here all day, so I'll try and keep this short and sweet because I heard there's green pop or something later. I do these, I like to keep them very informal. If at any point you have a question, raise your hand, throw something at me. If you hear something and you think I'm full of crap, call me out on it. I'm completely okay with that. Just to try and get me a little more associated with you guys, show of hands, how many people are already using social media for your companies? That's awesome. Okay. So some of this is going to be a little remedial for some of you. Some of it's going to be good. I usually get either a response of it was too much or this was not relevant at all. So if you get bored, just leave, I guess. So social media. A lot of people are using a lot of different buzzwords, Web 2.0, social media, new media. A lot of places I speak at, their brains kind of do one of those. But, fear not, because really, when you get down to it, it's a lot of the same things that you guys have been doing forever. There's nothing really new here. It's all it is networking. It's about building relationships, and it's about making friends. I mean, these are the same things that you've been doing since you were in kindergarten. And really, the only thing that's new are the tools that you can do it with. So, again, kind of high level, looking at what is social media and how you use it in your marketing strategy. We just kind of wanted to step back and just try and get our brains focused on, what is marketing strategy. There's really two core elements to a marketing strategy, and it's focusing on what your message is and the media channels that you're using to send that message out to your customers and prospects. As far as media channels, we kind of silo these into three different types, one of them being paid, one of them being owned, and one of them being earned. Looking at paid advertising, traditionally thought of as more traditional forms of television advertising, radio, print. Owned media would be things like your in-store displays. It can be your website, packaging. Earned media are more intangibles. It's looking at product performance, customer service, word of mouth. And so when you're using these things kind of together, you get IMC, which is an integrated marketing communication strategy, which is basically just saying that these things are working in unison. It's when your TV commercial says, hey, go check out our website, or lately in print, there's been a lot of traction using QR codes to send people to your online presence. And so when I started getting into more social media and playing around, I was trying to figure out, okay, well, what is social media? Is it paid? Is it owned? Is it earned? And really, it's all of the above. It's there's places on Facebook and LinkedIn for display advertising. There's also tools that you can use on Facebook to create customized tabs. A great example of that is last year, Delta started selling airline tickets through their Facebook page. And so they basically created a mini site within their Facebook page and really using it to create revenue. Earned media on social media is kind of the holy grail of what social media can do. This is when people are liking your posts. It's when people are retweeting your tweets. It's getting people actively engaged in the conversations that you're trying to start with them. And kind of covered this, but the big three, you've got Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. I mean, we've all heard of these. The popularity of these platforms is incredible. The reach is so substantial. And they're really just the tip of the iceberg of what's happening now, because every day you've got developers who are creating thousands and thousands of other applications that are tying into these platforms. I know earlier Elliot brought up Socialeye, which is doing the video conferencing. That's not done through Facebook. It's actually done by Glasser, who created the Real Media Player. And so this is kind of his new initiative. It's all tied into Facebook, but you still have to go to that page on Facebook to actually use it. This isn't anything that anyone in this audience couldn't develop or use. So I wanted to kind of kick around some of these things, start thinking about what you can do and new ways of using the technology to really engage with people. One of the big secrets that I've seen, a lot of the social media gurus and other people that I've gone and seen presentations by them, you don't need to be everywhere. I think what it really comes down to is understanding who you're talking to. And so kind of looking at who your target demographic is, really helps in deciding what platforms you need to be focusing your attention on. So it's who your target demographic is, and then secondly, where they're consuming their media. The biggest statistic from last year, and to try and look at who is using social media, biggest statistic from last year was the fact that the largest growing demographic on Facebook was 45 to 65-year-old women, which a lot of people went, wow, how is that possible? Which it's actually, there's a really simple explanation for that. Basically, all their kids were in college and they were stalking them. So understanding your company, and I like to use this example of kind of, most people fall on one end or in between the spectrum, but if you're comic books, or if you're a plastic injection molding company, if you're comic books, yeah, I want to see you on Facebook. If you're Marvel Comics, I want to learn about new comics that are coming out, things like that. If you're a plastic injection molding company, I probably don't want to hear from you. But there's other places that are better suited for that. And this example came from working with a client, and it was basically, well, if I needed a plastic injection molding company, what does that scenario look like? It's probably, I'm working in a food service company. My manager comes in and says, hey, our lid manufacturer really blew it. We need a new vendor. I need to find a new vendor. And so I'm going to start the search where I'm at, which is in my office. It's on my computer because that's where I am. I'm not going to go to the library. So what does that look like? Well, I'm going to go to Google. I'm going to search for it. Then I'm going to go to LinkedIn. I'm going to find other people that I'm connected with who are in my vertical, ask them for references, and see what suggestions they have. So if you're B2B, I think a lot of focus should be placed on SEO, pay-per-click, blogging, LinkedIn. Is this a cookie-cutter solution? Absolutely not. Every company's different. Plastic injection molding last month had 1,600 searches performed. So if your SEO's not, if your website's not optimized for search, and you're not on page 1, you're not there. If you're not there, then I'd really encourage you to look at pay-per-click, and that's when you're coming up alongside on the top or right-hand side of the organic search results, because that's 1,600 leads that you could have had. If you're B2C, SEO obviously, Facebook, Twitter, blogging, these are great places to be. Important because A, your competitors are already there, and B, your customers are there, and C, they're probably talking about your company. So make sure you like what they're saying about your brand. So again, back to these two mindsets on comic book versus plastic injection molding. I came up with these two quotes that I really liked, and I think it kind of